What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and Happy New Year, even though I'm not a huge fan of the New Year, obviously, by yesterday's video. I know a lot of you guys are celebrating it or whatever, and that's whatever, but looking forward to the new decade and the new year, and, well, with that, I want to go ahead and get a story time out as the first video of the new decade, new year, kind of just to, number one, I guess, get another video out in this series, and number two, kind of just to, I would say, pay some homage, man, to the channel history, considering it's been going for pretty much almost the entire decade, and I've been doing story time since all the way back in 2015, I think. It's been a long time, but most people don't actually know that. So with all that being said, today I'm going to be talking about what has to be one of the worst classes of all time, man. I was part of this class, and I was, I guess, at sometimes part of the problem, but this just had to be the worst class of all time. I mean, we probably destroyed the mental state of everybody who had to teach in that class at any period of time. I mean, when I look back on some of the things that happened, I'm stunned at what actually occurred in that classroom. So this is just going to be like a highlights moment of a lot of the biggest things that happened in this class. Now, some of these things have been mentioned in other storytime videos or were their own storytime video, so I'm pretty serious when I say that this class has literally spawned me several storytime video topics and just content. Anyways, now this class was a social studies / government class that I took my senior year of high school because for some reason they did not let me take this my junior year when I was in trade school. Even though a lot of other kids took it, I just didn't get it for whatever reason and was not allowed to take it, so I had to take it my senior year, which was fine. So I was in a class with, you know, a couple other seniors, but primarily juniors. Now the thing is that was good about it, I was also friends with a decent amount of juniors, and I was also pretty cool with a lot of the seniors in my class that were in that class. A lot of my senior friends were in other classes, unfortunately, because like 90% of them had already taken this class. So going into the year, I only knew like 7 or 8 people here. I was friends with some of the juniors, but I was cool with some of the seniors, and there was like, I don't know, 25 of us. It was a pretty big class for our school because they literally just had to stuff as many people as they could into this class. But by the time it ended, man, I think I ended up with a net gain of friends out of that class just based off of the shit that went down. So our teacher was pretty constantly trolled by pretty much the entirety of the male part of the class. The females, they did not take place. Girls did not really take place in the trolling. They generally would shame us for our behavior, but yeah, essentially they had just gotten a class full of a bunch of different people who were just rowdy as fuck, and for some reason thought that this was a good idea to have us all in the same class, even though the very troubled history of several kids in this class and this teacher's inability, I guess, to maintain stability in the classroom. I don't know if it was noticed before this or not, but it became noticed pretty quickly. I mean, where do I start? I guess we'll start with the whole gender bender thing. You guys probably know about that. I did a whole story time about this incident, so it all really broke down one day when we all weren't paying attention. Like, he was getting upset about that, and then literally one of the guys in the class, I'm so serious when I say this, pulls a burrito in a little plastic baggie out and then swings it and hits the kid in front of him on the back of the head with a fucking burrito. I mean, it sounds fake, but I swear to God, it's real, you know? And obviously that kid gets a little upset because he just, you know, was assaulted by a burrito. He turns around, a little bit of a commotion starts, they're like arguing about it, and the teacher has to intervene. He's quite upset by this point. And then at this point, my friend decides to just go bork, which didn't really make sense. But this was like, I guess, the final turning point, and the teacher just started freaking out, man. He's screaming about how there's no respect for him, and he's tired of it, and if you don't like it, then you can get out! And he just, you know, he lost his mind, and he, his voice cracked so hard that his voice, like, almost turned feminine for a few seconds there. So that's why we call that one the gender bender. Jesus Christ, there's just so many situations to look back on. There was one when we had a substitute, and she was this really sweet old lady, right? I've had her in so many different classes throughout my time, right? And usually she would just fall asleep or she would just not focus on what's going on after she kind of told everybody what's going on. But for some reason, the digital sign-ins where, like, you know, you go to a website, you check off who all's there, that wasn't working, so they passed around a piece of paper and everyone was supposed to sign their name on it to, like, show that they were present. Well, this just wasn't a good idea because nobody was going to take this seriously. I took this seriously because I didn't see the joke prospect in it at first. I'm not gonna lie, I did not see the joke in it at first, but once the paper had gotten all the way through the class, we had people on there like Terrell Suggs, Ashton Kutcher, just a bunch of random fucking names from celebrities, athletes, just all kinds of different things on there that, like, who would notice that? Like, especially if you're like this older woman who I would assume isn't like an NFL super fan. Who, are you gonna know who Terrell Suggs is? Really? For some reason, I didn't think she was gonna be, you know, knowing who Ashton Kutcher was, right? Well, once she becomes aware of what happened, she announces to the class, you know, who did this. That's essentially what the announcement was, because you're about to be apparently sniped by the teacher when he comes back. So she's just like, whoever wrote this is gonna be in trouble. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, I'm looking around because I'm trying to figure out who did it. And I know who did it to this day. Chris, if you're watching this video. But no, we never got in trouble for that. It was pretty funny. Then there was this time we were learning, well, I mean, I shouldn't say we were learning because, I mean, if you have, like, literally turned on a television or have any modicum of outside understanding of the world in the first grade, you know this information. But we were quote-unquote learning about political parties. And, of course, the only two that they teach you about is Republicans and Democrats, even though that there are thousands and thousands of parties in the United States alone. So, the only two that they teach you about are the two major ones that really, I guess, are the only ones that have any sort of control over anything. So, now with that, a couple of us thought it would be funny to start like this fake beef with one another over quote-unquote political affiliation, right? Now, it was pretty clear that our teacher kind of leaned left-wing. Okay, he at least insinuated that several times, simply based on his responses to a lot of the questions. So a couple of us decided that we would, like, quote unquote pick political parties and stuff like that, and they would change every day because, like, we would just forget what was going on, and we would quote unquote bully each other about them. So one day we would be like, hey yo Josh bro, I heard that you're a fucking liberal dude, and you know that means that you eat babies, right? And then he'd be like, nah bro, I heard that you're a Republican, bro. That means that you're a fat bitch. And just like, we would just troll each other about him. Like, we weren't being serious whatsoever because, I mean, none of us really gave even a squirt of piss about what was going on in the class. We just wanted to, like, make a joke about what it was, because who doesn't already know these things? You know what I'm saying? Like, even at, like, age 8, I was, like, very fundamentally aware of what political parties were, their functions, what they generally were, you know, siding on, things like that. I mean, it just, like, here in the United States, I wouldn't think that it's that hard to grasp. Maybe in a country where there's, like, 30 all vying for control at any given time, maybe then. But here, it really shouldn't be that hard to get. So we were fake bullying each other for about a week, and apparently someone got fucking offended, go figure, in the class, because we were making fun of liberals and Republicans, and we weren't taking it seriously. And then the teacher started to kind of catch on what was going on, and he just wasn't having it, man. So that led to like a week-and-a-half long escapade of him trying to get us to stop quote-unquote bullying each other over political affiliation, which, oh my god. And then there's this one guy, he's a really cool guy, like, I'm actually friends with this guy outside of school now, but dude, he used to troll so hard in class, dude. Like, one time, he had to go to the bathroom, right? And this is one time where I'm like, okay, I can kind of understand this one, but he had to go to the bathroom, and the teacher straight up told him no. And this is like right at the beginning of the year. He has no idea who this kid is, what he's prone to do, and this kid obviously has to go to the bathroom. So he sits there for like an extra 5 minutes and asks like 2 more times just to be told no 2 more times. And we're not even going over anything important at this point. Like, it's just some run-of-the-mill just BS that you should already understand. I think that's why that class was so heavy on trolling, is because we already knew 85% of everything in that class. The government is not hard to fundamentally, like, get, you know? It really isn't that hard, but he just walked out. And for some reason, this causes, like, a real ruckus in schools. I didn't notice this until this happened, but dude, if a kid just straight up walks out of class to go to the bathroom when told no, which honestly I don't even think is that major of a thing. Like, if you have to go to the bathroom, you gotta go to the bathroom. What's he gonna do? Whip it out and just like piss on the teacher's desk? But it's like, dude, they called the school over like the intercom, and they were like told the principal over it, right? And they like were literally searching the school for him. He told them where he was going. You know, it wasn't like he was gonna be like hiding in the second story attic, which doesn't even exist. Like, he just carved it out of the ceiling, you know? But then there was another incident where he was listening to music, and the teacher walked up to get his phone, and he stuck his hand out. This dude grabs his hand in front of the whole class and daps him up, just disrespecting him, and does not give him his phone. And it's little incidents like that that built up to the major incidents, because over weeks, these kinds of things would happen and get everyone on edge for like the big thing. You know, I guess to kind of break it down, it'd be like the little small jobs in GTA where you just build up to the big heist. Then there was one time where like, we actually didn't even do anything this time. That's what's funny. Like, we literally did not really even do anything this time. This was probably the calmest that we were all year. And it just led to like a complete breakdown the next day. So we had a substitute, and the substitute usually let us like listen to music and do our work. So that's what we did pretty much the whole class. But there was one period of time where a kid was throwing Tic Tacs at a chalkboard, I think it was. I almost said TikToks. Tic Tacs at a chalkboard before the class even started, like to see if they would ricochet and whatnot. Before the class even started, the teacher wasn't really even in there, so he did not see it happening. We were in there all alone, which is, you know, for a substitute to allow that's kind of weird, but we were in there pretty much alone. That was the only thing that really happened, but apparently the next day we were the most disrespectful we've ever been. We were just terrible, and I don't understand because, like, literally everyone had headphones in, we didn't talk. We just, that was the one time where we actually focused on work. One time, a dead goldfish got brought into class, and I think I've told this story before too, the dead fish fiasco maybe. A dead goldfish got brought into class, okay? And in the middle of class, I mean, I was already aware of what was going on. A lot of people were because of Snapchat. The picture had been posted to the school Snapchat story, okay? Now, he had it with him, and in the middle of class, he takes out this dead goldfish and just throws it towards the trash can, which is like 3-4 rows away, essentially on the other side of the classroom, where he misses completely and it just splats on the floor. Just a dead fish. Now, I don't know what the deal was there, but he just kind of got up and got the fish and just threw it in the trash. And I guess it was just no harm, no foul. I don't know, but dude, I'm telling you, we might have been one of the worst classes of all time. Like, literally every day we were going in there trolling the teacher, and then we'd have big moments where just weird shit happened like that. Burritos hitting heads led to freakouts, or fish flew across the room, quite literally. Terrell Suggs joined the class. False reports. It was like a never-ending thing, man. It really was, it was just a never-ending thing. I have stories from other classes and stuff throughout school, so I'll probably tell those in a future video, but thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel, follow me over on Twitter at @SubToOptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates over there. It's a surefire way to get notifications of all my newest content. Join the Discord down below, lots of great things going on down there as well. Thank you to my channel members, your support helps my channel tremendously, and until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, just remembering that class, and signing out.